Thank you, everybody, for joining us again here on Chamber Chat. We're very fortunate today to have Don Ward with us, the owner of Taylor Tasting Tours. Don, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Don, if you would kind of introduce your business, how did it get started? What's the story?
Sure. Well, it's pretty simple. I enjoyed wine. It's a wine tour business, and I had the opportunity to buy another company, one of the first ones that did wine tours here in 2011, and bought that with a business partner. And we did a lot of group tours, and that worked out really well. And we had got a really nice reputation. But as I started into it, I realized that I didn't know much about wine. And in most businesses, you know what you're talking about, or you should anyway. So I managed to go to school at Northwest Wine Academy in West Seattle, and I still continue to take classes. And once I sold that part of the business, or sold that business to my business partner in 16 to focus on private tours, I started this company. And of course, living in Magnolia, I started it here and wanted to, support Magnolia.
That's great. So, you've been in the wine industry how long now?
10 years this year. Yeah.
10 years. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do this.
So, obviously, everybody loves the business they're in. Well, not everybody. But what would you say makes Taylor Tasting Tours special?
Well, I think as I thought about opening my private tour business, I said, what can we do to distinguish ourselves from everyone else that's out there? I mean, most of the companies, the few that do tours, are also transportation companies, and they can do a nice job and take you to various places. But I found that people wanted to know more about their tastes and their palates and why they like what they like, why they didn't like what they didn't like, and etc. And I figured that the more I went to school and the more certifications I got, the more I knew to be able to help them to discover wines that they may not have been able to try, or wines that they really might like that they might not have had somewhere else. So designing a custom tour around what people really like, and I do a taste sensitivity test for them, determine what their inherent priorities are, makes it a little bit more special. And we're the only sommelier-owned tour company in all of Seattle. So we focus on higher end private tours to boutique wineries that you wouldn't have access to, which I'm fortunate to be able to go to.
Impressive. And we've actually been fortunate in the past at some of our vinos and village to have Don around, and people ask him some questions, and he's a wealth of knowledge. So,
well, yeah, as soon as you think you know everything, which I don't, you run into one of those master sommeliers, which I'm not. And there's only a few of those 100 in the country, and if you ever have a chance to listen to them, they're like walking encyclopedias. They're unbelievable. But it was great to be able to fill in for a couple of wineries that couldn't make it, I think, on the last one. So, it's all fun, and we try and support the vino in the village.
Awesome. Well, I had to throw that out there because we have one coming up December 4th. So we're pretty.
Yeah, I think I'm signed up already. I don't know. I have to check. You can check it, but. Yeah, there's a few wineries on there that I think we had chatted about sometime back, and with COVID, of course, everything got put off another year. So I think it'll be a welcome event. I think people will be glad to get out and do something.
I agree, 100%. So for you as a person, Don, what are some of your personal goals?
Well, my personal goals are, of course, anywhere in the world where there's winemaking, it's a business trip for me to go on. So that makes it fun. But my personal goals are to continue to get a greater education. I'm currently taking the advanced WSET curriculum to take the exam. It's like a 10-week class. The exam's in December. So there's always more things that you can learn. I might consider taking the Italian wine scholar after achieving the French wine scholar next year. I have the French one, but there's always something more to learn, and it's just fun to be able to learn more about wine and be able to give more information to customers and help them in their goal to find great wines.
So I can imagine with what you do, there's probably 100 things that you love about your industry, but can you narrow down one or two of those?
Well, that's an easy question, of course. I mean, everybody's, it's like, I suppose, like being in the wedding business. I mean, most people are happy to be there, and they're not there to complain about whatever business it is, but they're there to enjoy themselves. And we just try and create a great experience for them, something that's memorable. And by doing certain little things for them, like I'll support Washington sparkling producer. There's one called Treveri. If somebody has a birthday or an anniversary or something like that, I give them a bottle of that, just as a token for their, taking the trip with us and stuff like that. Little things like that, I think, just make, the event. And obviously, if there's any wine anywhere, it's fun to do. But the disadvantage, if there is any in this, is you have too much exposure, not from a drinking perspective, but from a buying perspective. You want to support all your wineries, and so I end up buying too much, more than we can ever drink. So that's the disadvantage. But other than that, it's all pretty fun. So.
Well, I could see Don doing that. Don's probably one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. So being a good guy, I could see him wanting to support every single one of those wineries. So that is a problem you might have.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I'm really fortunate to have a part-time staff of really great people, two of which are judges for the Seattle Wine Awards and have more credentials than I do, that can work for me part-time. And I'm very selective about the people that I hire. And so I'm really fortunate to have those, and that helps, the business considerably, because I can't do more than one tour in a day, of course. So.
Okay. So for anyone who's not familiar with your business or doesn't know as much as they should, what are ways that they can learn about, website, socials, anything like that, to learn more about your business?
Well, my website's TyrrellTastingTours.com, and there's a good amount of information on there, and there's a lot of suggestions of places that we might visit that are kind of unique and special. Like, I can take people on a tour to Whidbey Island, if they're coming from out of town, or even if they live there, just something different to do as opposed to just Woodinville or the city. And there's a good amount of information there. But the best thing really is, to contact me, and I can do a taste sensitivity test for you. It's very short. It's developed by a PhD from Yale. And I found it to be very helpful to determine where to take people, as opposed to just saying, we're going to take you, this place is a great winery, but that doesn't mean you're going to like it. So my thought is, why drink it if you're not going to like it? I mean, you should focus on areas that you're going to enjoy more, because it's all about enjoyment. So that's what we try and do.
That's why he's so good at what he does.
Well, we try hard. You never, my professors, I can say that work for me, I can say they're experts, but I never tell anybody else, don't ever say you're an expert, because you might have somebody that knows more than you do. And we just understate it. And people that know that what they're talking about, or think they know what they're talking about, love to talk about wine. And so we have to ride that, be very diplomatic, and be careful not to insult anyone, of course. But let them enjoy their wines, and help them with some information that might be beneficial.
Right. Don Ward, Taylor Tasting Tours. I appreciate you coming on, sharing a little bit about your story. Those who are watching this, check it out. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised at just how great a job Don does, and how thorough he is in his work. So.
Well, thank you. And we should talk about this a little in the beginning of next year, but maybe I should do like most of my tours are smaller private ones, 2 or 4 or so, but maybe like a small little Magnolia special tour to some places that, people can't get in, that might be interesting. We could talk about that.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Appreciate it all. And you guys do a great job. And, I'm just thankful to be able to be in this chamber. And, hopefully I can make a little bit more of a contribution in the future.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.